let's not count the score. Baby, the only thing that matters is that my love for you never dies. And one thing you can be sure of, honey, you know I'm not telling lies. I'm not telling lies.
All right, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, also known as FlyFisher530. Today we're going to be talking about this fridge freezer that was sent to me by SetPower. This is a 45 liter or 47 quart size fridge freezer. And it is a single zone, which like my existing fridge freezer, you can either use it as a freezer or as a refrigerator, not both. It doesn't have dual zones, which is okay. I have a single zone as well. So we're going to do some unboxing of this real quick, then we'll set it up, talk about the features of this fridge freezer, and then I'm going to do some other tests on it the next few days with my lithium cube, see how much power it draws down. But it's definitely a budget-minded fridge freezer. This is substantially less than many that you see that are over $1,000. And that's okay. There's some reasons why you'd probably want to do that, and we'll talk about that further on in the video. But I can tell you just from initial impressions on the way it was shipped to me, it's tightly wrapped with plastic. There's banding, both two bands here. There are two bands going this way. So it arrived in great shape, so that's a great first impression. So we'll do a quick unboxing, then we'll set it up, start talking about the features. Stay tuned. I have to say, I like the way that comes off the top right there. So it's wrapped in plastic on the inside as well. It has this box on it. Take this out. All right, well that was probably one of the easiest unboxings I've ever done for something this large. The lid came right off. It was protected top and bottom with the styrofoam protection to keep it centered inside the box. There's no indication of any damage on the outside of this thing, scratches, dings, or otherwise. So super happy with the way it was packaged and shipped. In the next segment, we'll start setting it up, talk about the features. Stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about some of the features of this SetPower refrigerator, and we'll talk about the exterior first. It has a nice aluminum siding to it, very sturdy, I guess I would say. It's not flimsy at all. Nice flat surface. It has 3 vents on this side, the back side here, and where the control panel is, and I'll show you the control panel in a minute. The latches are very simple, but they have this nice positive locking feel to them. And they're definitely not going to rattle around when they're in the back of your vehicle. They'll also keep the lid nice and tight and keep the items inside nice and cooled. And that's about it. Also, with this flat exterior, it's good for like stickers if you wanted to put on the refrigerator. I see a lot of people do that, and so that's another feature that you could use this for. So we'll turn around next, and I'll show you the control panel and what's going on with that. Okay, so inside the unit, before we talk about the control panel, you're going to find this box. You're going to have a DC power cord and an AC power cord, and then you're also going to have a user manual, which I have to say is really well written, better than most that I've seen for instructions and maintenance and cleaning of the unit. So nice of SetPower to do that. I give them props for that for sure. All right, so we'll get this plugged in. We'll talk a little bit about the control panel. All right, so let's talk about the control panel, but first I want to go over a couple other things. The handles on this unit are really nice. They're spring-loaded, and they're not going to rattle around when they're in the back of your vehicle. Those are steel handles, and this thing when it's empty is pretty easy to carry. It's not that heavy, so that's nice. Below the control panel is the power connection, and then next to that is a 15 amp fuse connection port, which is nice. I've never seen that before, and it's nice to know they have a fuse connection here that you can swap out if it did pop for some reason, if you had a power surge in your vehicle. And then the power cord connection in the front may be a problem for some people. For myself, it's actually not. My existing refrigerator does have the power cord connection in the back, and I know there's been times when I've needed to get to that and my rig's been stuffed with gear. So like an example would be the night before, I packed up my vehicle, but then I realized, well, I don't really want to be drawing from DC power on my vehicle overnight. I really want to be drawing from AC power to save my battery. And then I realized I've packed all this gear in the back of my vehicle. I'm going to have to swap it all out to get to the cord on the back of the unit just to plug in the AC power. So having this connection in the front actually for me is really handy, but it may not work for everybody. The control panel itself, very simple. There's an on-off button in the front. All these buttons are like a positive touch where you have to hold them down for a second or two before they activate, which means you're never going to like brush against these controls and change something. So you have the on-off. Here you have up-down arrows, self-explanatory. You just set the temperature where you want it, and it'll start cooling down to that temperature. Right now it's trying to cool down and actually just got to 30 degrees, which is what I set it at, so it shut itself off. The up-down arrows, the temperature range from 0 to 50 degrees, I think, is what they say. So you can use this as a freezer or as a refrigerator, but not both. And then below the up-down temperature settings is a max min button. The max button would be where it's going to push the compressor as hard as possible to cool down things as quickly as possible. So that would be if you're on AC power, especially a few hours before a trip. You could put it on AC power on the max setting, and it's going to, work that compressor as hard as possible to cool things down as quickly as possible. And then when you put it on your vehicle battery or like a lithium battery, you would move it down to the minimum setting. That's like the eco-friendly setting, and will make the battery last longer, and it'll just take a little longer to cool things down to the proper temperature. So that's the max min. And then over here on the far left is 3 settings where it's going to monitor the battery it's drawing from. And this is most important usually for your vehicle battery, where it's going to shut itself down when the voltage gets down below a certain level. The high setting will be where it's going to shut itself down with the least amount of drawdown off your battery. The low setting is going to take the most drawdown off your battery. For myself, I would probably set it at medium to high if I was in a remote area. If you're, with other people that maybe have jumper batteries or jumper cables and you don't care, you could set it on the low setting, which means it's going to pull down as much as possible off your battery, but it will shut down at a certain point. I think somewhere in the 10.5 volt range. But you can look at the user manual for more information on that. But that's just generally what it does. It's kind of neat. Most refrigerators nowadays do have that vehicle monitoring or battery monitoring feature, which is really nice. And that's about it that I can think of to say for the control panel. So I think next we'll talk about what's inside. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the inside of the SetPower refrigerator. The lid itself has this rubber ring around it, around the entire perimeter of it to seal this nicely. They advertise on their website that it can hold 2 1-gallon jugs, which is absolutely true. Put some water bottles in here as well. They have both of these baskets come out very easily with these handles, which is nice. And obviously there's a light here as well to illuminate this when you open it up. And the wall thickness, I can tell you, around this unit is about 2 inches, which is nice. It looks like it's really well insulated. And that's pretty much all I can say about the inside of this. Like I said, it's a 45 liter or 47 quart size inside this unit. And they also claim you can hold up to 72 like Coca-Cola cans, your standard size Coca-Cola cans. So pretty neat. And I think we'll wrap this up with a couple other thoughts and comments. right, so I've been testing out this SetPower's refrigerator the last couple weeks, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the unit and how well it's been working. If you're just getting started in overlanding, I think this is a great value item to start out with. You can literally buy 3 of these for the price of my ARB refrigerator right now on Amazon. So yeah, I'm super impressed with that versus the price versus the quality. It seems like a pretty good deal. And we've talked about in the video already some of the positives. The touch control panel is very easy to use, simple. It's got a basket inside to pull things out of with, and interior light, 2 inches of insulation around it. Really, really well made, it seems like, for the price. All right, some of the negatives to mention. We've talked about the power cord connection in the front. That might be a problem for some people. It's not for me. The lid only opens one direction. That may be a problem. I've always had my refrigerator on this side of my Jeep, so it's not a problem for me. It might be a problem if you put it on the other side, or you could flip this around, but then you're going to lose the control panel being in the back here. Maybe that's not a problem for some people. The other potential negative, I guess I would say, is testing this over last couple weeks. I set this to 20 degrees on the panel to see what the actual temperature would be inside. And I let it run for 2 days. And the actual temperature inside was about 28 degrees. So about an 8-degree difference between what the control panel said and what the interior temperature was. I was actually curious about my ARB refrigerator, went and tested that and got essentially the exact same result. So, it just goes to show you that paying for more doesn't necessarily get you more. But I don't really consider that negative. I always knew my ARB refrigerator wasn't giving me a true temperature inside versus what the control panel was. So, but just something to be aware of. And then in terms, this isn't a negative or positive, just as for some information, this battery, which I don't think I mentioned, this is this is an All Powers S2000 battery that was sent to me to review. And I thought I might as well just get started on it right away, but that'll be a future video down the road. This is an S2000 model, which is a 1500 watt-hour battery, and they sent it to me with a set of solar panels to review as well, so that'll be upcoming. But I wanted to see what the drawdown would be on this over, at least 24 hours, and I can tell you that I started out in my garage for a 24-hour period, and it virtually drew down nothing over 24 hours because it's so cold right now where I live. So I brought the refrigerator inside, the battery inside, let them acclimate for a couple days, and the drawdown over 48 hours on this battery from 100%, it went down to 91%. And so let's just say it's 90% to make it easy. This is a 1500 watt-hour battery, so it drew down 150 watt-hours over 2 days, or about 75 watt-hours over a day's time. Now that was at room temperature. You're going to have a lot more drawdown in hot weather, 100-degree weather, and you're going to have very little drawdown like I had in my garage in very cold weather. So, but just to give you a rough idea, at room temperature I was getting about 75 watt-hours per 24 hours. And speaking of that, there's actually a very good video comparing this RV45S from SetPower to an IceCo 45VL, I think. Same size, same kind of budget type refrigerator. And that guy, I'll leave a link above and down below in the description below. He did a test of these 2 refrigerators in very hot weather, like 90s. It was in the 90-degree weather. And I thought that was a really good video, and comparing those 2 units side by side. The IceCo, I can tell you, is a couple $100 more, but you get a 5-year warranty on the compressor versus this is a 3-year warranty on the compressor. So just an FYI, but overall, I have to say I'm super impressed with this unit. I think it's a great starting out unit to get if you're just getting into overlanding, or not, if you just want to save some money. I think it's a good value for the price. And so Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Really appreciate you watching, and hope to see you on the trail someday.